Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Sunday, August 19th, 2018. And there's all the kitties. Now, I gotta tell you, so let me run over a couple things real quick. I wanted to talk about this. A lot of people are saying feed the runt, which is right there, separately. Well, unfortunately, I have tried to do that, and the runt will not eat the wet food. I have no idea what the deal is with that. The rest of these little piglets here, absolutely, as you guys have seen in the other day's video, they go nuts for it. So, but they're so funny. They're very, very funny kittens. So, anyway, there's Mama resting up on top there, Molly. So, but whatever reason, as you can see, she separates herself. The runt does, or he, or whatever the runt is. The rest of them, I mean, they all hang together too, but you know, the runt is not as adventurous as the rest of the cats are, for I don't know whatever reason. But but yeah, I tried to feed that one separately, and it just will not eat. Okay, so it just eats off of Mom. Okay, so I want to talk about real quick here. Let me get these guys off of me so I can walk around. Okay. All right. So first thing I want to talk about real quick is the sale that's going on right now through the end of the month for Legacy. Okay, the the 60 meal bucket, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is down to $120 right now, and the 360 meal bucket is at $573 right now, which is a freaking great deal. Both of those are 40% off, and that runs through the end of the month. So if anybody's interested, those are the specials that are going on right now. If you go to my website at preppernurse1.com, you'll see it on the banner on top. It says exactly what it is. The prices have already been reduced. If you click on the 360 meal, it's already going to say $573. If you click on the 60 meal breakfast, lunch, and dinner bucket, it will already say $120. So that savings already been put in there. So if you guys are interested, like I said, good time to take advantage of that. And with the freeze-dried food, like I said, 25-year shelf life, you really can't go wrong. And Legacy is really good quality stuff. I mean, I'm speaking from because I've had it myself and I enjoy it. And I think it's good to have, along with other preps as well. But that's what's the sale is what's going on right now with that. Okay, so now we're going to move on real quick. I want to talk about, I was talking about Heather yesterday. And, you know, looking like she's probably going to be able to be accepted into an Ivy League college. And a lot of people were saying, oh, she's going to, let's see, one person said that she's going to come out of college hating white people and be Antifa. You know, a lot of people said, oh, she's going to end up turning into a liberal and all this type of stuff. Here's the thing, guys. First of all, okay, my daughter is very, very highly intelligent, and she has her own mind. A lot of those people that end up being basically brainwashed, if you will, you know, they don't have strong role models in their family. They don't have good guidance in their families. So, you know, they're bitter, they're angry, and whatever. My daughter is a very, very grounded person. She's a very, very good person. So I'm going to tell you right now, I have no doubt that she will be just fine. She speaks her mind. She has her own mind. And that's exactly what she'll do in college, too. She's not going to get caught up in any of that stupid stuff. I honestly don't believe that. Because, like I said, she has a mind of her own. Trust me. She is so much like her father, it is unbelievable, okay? So I just wanted to put that to rest. And you know, and I know people were not saying it maliciously. First of all, I want to say that. I know people were not saying that maliciously. But you got to understand something. My daughter is very, very highly intelligent. And, you know, like I said, she has her father's will, which heaven help whoever she ends up with, because she's got that stubborn German blood in her, so... Anyway, the second thing I want to talk about my son Eddie. And I'm going to tell you what, and I'll tell anybody that asks, Eddie's the smartest one in this house, okay? Eddie is so unbelievably smart, it is unbelievable. Socially, he's just not there. As far as getting a job, we're trying to work on something that he can do something from home, that he can do something with his computer right directly from home. That's going to be his best bet. He could not go and work at a job. It just would not work for him. He has to get up and run. He's got all that boundless energy, and he's running all the time. And that's how he calls it stemming. He goes, I got to stem, Dad, I got to stem. So he will run and run. He runs in the house like all winter long, back and forth, back and forth. And even in the summertime, if it's dark out, he doesn't want to go outside after dark. He runs in the house. So that's what he does, okay? The other thing, somebody had said, oh, well, you got these kids that they could split the rest of this wood, for you, with the log splitter. Well, first of all, Eddie doesn't like loud noises. Loud noises really, really bother him. So there's no way that he could do that. And so that's why I always do all the splitting, and then I have them come out and help me after I'm done splitting with stacking. That's why, I mean, we work together. You have to work within what works for that child, okay? So I'm going to tell you what, it's like, I am blessed to have my daughter. My daughter's absolutely awesome. But I'm going to tell you what, my son has also made me such a better person. And I wanted to just address that a little bit. I know I gloat a lot on Heather because she's going places in life, okay? She really, truly is. And Eddie can have a really decent life himself. And what I'm doing here too is I'm going to have everything set up so hopefully that when I do pass, that he can stay right here, have everything taken care of, and not have to worry about anything financially. I mean, that's the goal anyway, so that he won't have a lot of expenses, at that point. And I figure I'm hoping I got 30 more years, so at least 30. So, that's the goal. And but Eddie is just he has made me such a better man. I can honestly tell you. I was raised by my grandfather, okay? And then we're going to talk about this a little bit. My grandfather was my father figure to me. And so, because we had moved back with my grandparents when I was young. And I was there for some very influential years of my life. And my grandfather was, to me, my father in the whole 9 yards. And my grandfather was a hard man, but you knew he loved you. He always told you he loved you, but he would whoop your butt in a heartbeat, okay? When my grandfather raised his voice, boy, you jumped to it, okay? So he wasn't much of a hitter unless he had to. I can't remember being spanked more than a half a dozen times as a child by my grandfather, okay? But the thing is, when he rose his voice, boy, you hopped to it. So when the children were small, I was raised by my grandfather, so you follow that kind of that pattern of what works. So I would raise my voice. My stepson Josh knew that you got to it and you did what I said. Heather, same thing. I've never ever had to spank Heather in my life. She's just always been that type of child, and she would do the same thing, jump up to it and get to it, okay? That didn't work with Eddie, okay? If I raised my voice to Eddie, all it did was accelerate him. And that was never a good thing, because it's like, it would just, he'd get to a point where you can't bring him back down once he got to a certain level. So I had to completely change the way that I parented, and it actually affected Josh and also Heather, because it made me a better father, because it's like when things would go whatever way they would go, I would remain calm, and I would have to keep my voice here. And even like when Eddie would accelerate, I would say to him, and this is what you learn, guys. I mean, this is, with each autistic child, it's totally different how you have to deal with it. But one thing is consistent, is like, if I keep my voice here and you're yelling, now you got to be quiet so you can hear me, okay? So if he was accelerating, I would say, Eddie, am I yelling at you? No, then please don't yell at me. Talk to me. Be calm. Calm down. And I learned how to bring him back down off that edge. Now, there's obviously been a few times that once he gets past a point, that's it. You know what I mean? You just got to deal with it at that point. But the biggest key is trying to remain calm. And so, like I said, it just, in that pattern rubbed off like with the other kids as well. I'm going to tell you what, the way that I like to punish, I'll be honest with you, I love to take away privileges. You don't do what I ask you to do, you don't do your chores, you lose privileges. You know what I mean? Being able to be on the computer is not your right. That is a privilege. Being able to have a cell phone is not your right. That is also a privilege, especially if I'm paying for these things, okay? So for me, those are the tools that I have had to use. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've only had to really get after Heather like maybe once or twice. And I'm going to share an interesting story with you. And actually, Heather busted herself. And I'm going to tell you how Heather busted herself, okay? So Heather was hanging out with this girl locally that wasn't the best kid to be hanging out with, okay? So Heather had gone over there and was hanging out there for, and I was there too. And so, because I never really left, I don't leave her anywhere. So I was there, and her and the kids were all out doing whatever they were doing. Well, the mother allowed this child to smoke. And so this girl was, smoking. So this was on a Saturday. So the next day was a Sunday, and we went and picked up Eddie because Eddie had spent the weekend at Mom's and Heather hadn't. Well, the kids said, well, we're going to go skiing. And I go, okay. So I was outside and I was doing something. And so what happened was, Eddie comes running up to me. Dad, Heather was smoking. So now Heather comes up, and she's all crying and upset. And I'll never forget this because this was the best. I mean, the kids don't really watch the video, so maybe later in life she'll see this and she'll appreciate this more. But so Heather runs up to me and she says, "Ooh, Dad," and I'm like this. I'm like, Heather, right now I am doing this. I want you to go in your bedroom and wait. I will be there shortly. And I remained very, very calm. So here this kid has to go in her room and wait. And she is just like losing her mind because she's in trouble, and she knows she's in trouble. And so I made her wait like 15 minutes. I finished up what I was doing, and then I went in and I sat down and I said, your relationship with that girl is over. You will not be hanging out with her no more. You will not be doing anything with her anymore. Now, here's the thing that I find interesting about this whole situation. A lot of times kids will do something on purpose because they want something to happen. Now, Heather could have smoked that cigarette on Saturday when Eddie wasn't home, but she didn't. She waited till Sunday till he was home, smoked it in front of him, because she knew that he was going to tell me. Sometimes kids want you to put your foot down and say, you can't be with this person or hang out with this person, and they can go to that friend and they can say, listen, it's my father that said you can't hang out with me anymore, and I'm sorry. Okay, so they don't have to say, I don't want to hang out with you because I don't like what you're doing and the behaviors that you're doing and the way that you're acting. Let me be the bad guy. So she busted herself on purpose. And as far as I know, she's never smoked again since that point. But the thing was, it was like she almost did it subconsciously on purpose because she didn't know how to end that relationship and she needed me to do it for her. So that way, and I just did. And I said, that's it. End of it. And you know what? Never had an issue again since then. So it's interesting how those type of situations happen. But it's just that's how it goes with kids. Okay, and I find that really, really interesting. But like I said, my kids are really good kids. I am so blessed to be their father. And even with Joshua, my stepson, who's now 22 years old, which where did that happen? But anyway, he's such a good kid too, and I couldn't be prouder of all of them. So I know I really have a tendency to really gush on Heather, but I'm so proud of Eddie too, and I just want you guys to know that, and I just wanted to bring that up. Today's kind of been overcast day. You can kind of, so the sun's actually out right now, but it's been mostly cloudy all day long. The last time I checked, we'd still brought in 4.8 kilowatt hours on the day. And like I said, it's been pretty much overcast the entire day. And so, but, I wanted to talk to you, yesterday, too, my video went up real late. So what happened was I made my video, and I was getting ready to put it up, and I was doing some cleaning. I was cleaning up my room a little bit. And so what happened was, I couldn't get on. I couldn't get online. And, we've had some problems with the router and stuff like that. And I just thought that that's, just the normal stuff. And you just reboot it and it gets going again. Well, it wasn't happening this time. So I called the cable company and spoke with them. And they were like, their machine part was fine. It was the Linksys that was messed up. So I'm like, okay. So they said, call Linksys. So I call Linksys. And usually their warranty is for a year on whatever product that it is, and they were talking about it and stuff like that, and they were trying to reset it. They rebooted it and stuff like that. And then the guy told me, he said, well, listen, first of all, he said, generally every year the technology on those things are getting better and better and better. He said, so what happened was, he goes, my year warranty actually ran out in 2015. So that's how long I'd had that router. And so he's like, well, we could, you know, he goes, because you're already a Linksys customer, we can, you know, set you up and give you a discount to get you a new one. And I said, well, how long would that take? And he was like, 3 to 5 days. And I'm like, you don't understand. I said, I'm a YouTuber. I got to get my videos up every day. So I went down to Walmart and I bought a new router. So I was late by the time all this happened. So that's why the video went up late yesterday. So I apologize for the lateness of yesterday's video. But that's what happened. So, you know, so now we have a new one and it's working fine. Because we were having some problems. We'd be online and it would kick off. And we'd go back on. I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought it was the cable. You know, it was messed up. Turns out it was the Linksys. So, but now we got a new one and we're good to go. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I just wanted to really today kind of talk to you about my kids a little bit. And, you know, the dynamics and the difference of them. I'm going to tell you what, Eddie helps. Eddie does not sit in his room all day and play on his laptop. If I tell him to do something, he will come out and he'll do it because he knows that there are consequences to his actions. Now, Heather, whatever I ask her to do, she just does it. Because I always try to explain to them, too. Here's the thing is, and it's not like I don't participate and help with anything that's being done. I'm right in there as well. So it's not like I'm sitting in a lawn chair, drinking a beer, watching them do the work while I sit there and do nothing. That's not how it works at all. We do it together. You know, it's always a team effort. But the thing is, it's like, Heather just, you know, and I explained to both of them, I said, if you just knock it out and get it done, now you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. I mean, when I ask them to do chores, I mean, it's nothing super major. I mean, it really, really isn't. Wood is always the thing we always do together because it's a pain in the behind. But we need to have it every year, so we do it, and that's it. That's just the way it goes. My son, Joshua, my stepson, he hated stacking wood. Hated stacking wood. But I told him, I said, hey, listen, this is part of what keeps us warm. You know, I would go down, I'd cut the trees down, I'd split it all, load it in the car, bring it back to the house, dump it on the ground, and then all he had to do was stack it. And, well, then he would always be like, well, can Heather help? And I said, sure, Heather can help. And because Eddie just wasn't, you know, that wasn't a point in time where he could do that mentally. And, you know, he's matured so much. He's grown so much as far as, you know, tolerating things and being able to do things. Like I said, you know, guys, I am such a blessed and lucky man to have the children that I have, and you know, they are absolutely awesome, and they're just a wonderful part of my life, and I'm so happy to have them in my life. They're still at Mom's. They're spending an extra day at Mom's today because Heather actually has a toothache, and Mom is going to take her to the dentist tomorrow. So they're going to spend an extra day, you know, with Mom, which is fine. That happens. But yeah, you know, like I said, it's so they're not here, so they're not hearing any of this. I just so you know, I'm just, you know, but they're awesome. They really truly are. And Eddie is unique, and Heather is unique. And even being twins, you know, they all have their own little personalities, and they do their own thing. And I'm so blessed to have them both in my life. I really truly am. It's I had a buddy of mine I was talking with the other day, and he's known me from way before I had my kids. We've been friends a long time. And he said to me, man, he goes, you have changed so much over the years. And I said, well, you know, kids make you soft, they make you weak, you know. And he says, you know, no, he goes, but he goes, it's a change for the better. He goes, you have just, you know, you're so different now. And I said, well, before it was always about me. Now it's not. And that's the thing. When you have children, it's not about you anymore. It's about them. So that's in my philosophy. That's how it is, because they're so important. They do not ask to be brought into this world. We bring them into the world, and you know, we need to take care of our responsibilities. That's my thought. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna jump off of here from now. So like I said, I just wanted to share these thoughts with you. Just explain a couple things about the kids and stuff like that. Heather is going to go far in life. She actually wants to work towards becoming a doctor, not as a medical doctor, but like in science and stuff like that. She loves science. She loves, you know, like forensic pathology. She loves that stuff. So one day I will be bragging on my daughter, Dr. Heather Carswell. I can tell you that right now, just because I know her determination. She has way, way too much of me in her. And when people tell us that we can't do something, we're the type of people that go, oh yeah, watch me. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, guys, remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And remember, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. That's it. Nobody else can do it. It really can't. And that's where that stubbornness really helps, because when people say to you, oh, you'll never do that or you'll never accomplish that, if you have the drive and the strength in your heart to do it, you do it. Don't listen to negativity. Negative people just want to bring you down to their level and be as miserable as they are. Happiness is truly a choice, I believe. It really can be. You know, be grateful for what you have, and don't laminate on the things that you don't have control over, or the things that, you know, there's nothing you can do about. It doesn't make any difference. You know, it doesn't, not that it doesn't make any difference, it doesn't do any good. Negative thinking does not do you any good. Just think positively. So anyway, guys, on that note, I'm going to jump off of here. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. There's Buddy. Hey, Buddy.